Australian rules football? In the U.S.? That's right. The United States Australian Football League is in a city near you. Go to USAFL.com, find your team, check them out. We're a group full of men and women just like you. Join us for the fun athletic competition. Stay for the camaraderie.
We are the champions!
Log on and sign up to join your team at USAFL.com.
Hey, warm welcome to the Score Complex in Racine, Wisconsin for the 2018 United States Australian Football League National Championships. This is Women's Division 1, Seattle Grizzlies versus the New York Magpies on Field 3. I'm Peter Holden. Great to have your company for this very entertaining match we've got coming up. I say entertaining because it's hard to pick a clear favourite. We've got the veterans versus the newcomers. The New York Magpies have been around for a number of years. In fact, back in 2015, they came ever so close to winning the Women's Division 1 title. And then the next year in 2016 saw the formation of a Seattle women's team. They only started with 3 players. They made their debut as a Division 1 team at last year's National Championships in San Diego, California. And they find themselves back in Division 1 again this year, looking to improve on their record of the 1 win from last year. We've got the New York side, which of course has got many familiar names in there. We speak of Lauren Skosniechny. We throw in there Claire Algozin, Grace Koplo, Natalie Wolf, Dre Casillas, Taylor Davidson. That's just to name a few. Over in the Seattle Grizzlies, they've got, of course, some up-and-coming stars. We talk of April Lewis, who has won 2 MVPs back-to-back at the Western Regional Tournament. We talk also of Amelia Carr, who joined April Lewis in Australia training with the Crosscoders program, having to be picked up in the AFLW draft. So we've got plenty of exciting talent on both sides, veterans and newcomers, so we should be in for a cracking game. We're playing straight 20-minute halves, so we don't stop the clock when the ball goes out of bounds or in between goals. However, if there is a major injury, the umpires do have discretion whether they can stop the clock or not. Umpire just looking around to make sure all is in readiness to start this match here on Field 3. The other team, of course, in this pool is the San Francisco Iron Maidens. And they, of course, are the reigning champions. So we're underway, 20 minutes to play in this first half. And it's April Lewis that wins out in the ruck contest versus Andrea Hargrave, who's doing the rucking for New York. Ball goes towards the wing on the outer side. Hurry kick out of the pack by the Grizzlies, going towards their half forward. They're going towards the right side of the screen, which is the western end of the eastern end of the ground. And if you keep going that way, you'll head towards Lake Michigan. The New York Magpies are going to the left of screen, which if you go that way, you'll go, of course, all the way to the Pacific. So there you are. I hope that makes sense. As here's the hurry kick out of defence by the New York Magpies in towards the central corridor. You can see Koplo running around. Tackle laid on there by Emma Cadding, and we'll call for a ball. A bit of sister rivalry in today's game as well. The Johnson sisters, Kaylee Johnson playing for the New York Magpies, while Ryan Johnson is playing for the Seattle Grizzlies. Which sister will come out on top today? Here's the kick inside forward 50. So Seattle with all the attacking. Ball is about 15 metres out from goal. They're looking to see if they can get a possession, but it's cleared off the back line. I think that might be Janie Bowl who just got the boot the ball then, who cleared it towards the half-back flank position. Umpires come in, pulled out a free kick, and said a Seattle player was dealt with unfairly, and that means a free kick going the way of the Grizzlies. So they have the footy about 50 metres out from goal, which in women's footy, that is a long way out. And even at the professional level, there's only a handful of players who can kick that distance. In men's football, 50 metres out means you have a bit of a 50-50 shot on goal as the ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds. Typically in women's footy, you're looking for the shot on goal to occur from about 35 metres out. We wait for the ball to be thrown back into play. Doing the ruck work, Cadding. Ball got out the back. Hurry little kick away. Umpires call play on. Grizzlies again go inside 50, but not too far. Backing back there to take a mark. That might have been Wolf back there for New York, just far side from our camera. Kicks it now in board. They were looking for a mark. Came off hands. Goes and made a contest of it. Kicks. Was trying to look for the advantage of Davidson. Knocked away from her. Dancing around. Umpire's blown the whistle and awarded a free kick going the way of the New York Magpies. The Magpies, as we mentioned, with some of their star players, a handful of them had also represented the USA Freedom over a number of campaigns. So they're regarded actually as one of the best defensive lineups in the competition. But they also have a number of rookies, and they're trying to develop that midfield, so therefore they're able to get reward for effort for everything that they do in the back line, because you rarely see a New York Magpies side get smashed. They hold very well in defense. It's just that they do struggle to put an impact on the scoreboard. The Seattle Grizzlies, very similar. They've had a solid back line. We mentioned April Lewis down there in the back line. You can also throw in Latia Holmes, Valerie Barber-Axtell. They stand up well, but they've probably got a little bit more forward potency. The likes of Amanda Bowe, Poor Boy when she pushes up front, Olivia Lewis as well. So we'll keep an eye on seeing how they go today. Mark being taken there on the far side, Lawrence Kosniechny, who is playing for the New York Magpies for the last time. She's actually moved across to the Pacific Northwest, and she'll play against one of Seattle's rivals. She'll play with the Portland Sockeyes next year, so that's a big move for her. Trying to fly through the air there, Andrea Hargrave. Ball was spoiled away from her. Joseph tries to get in there, can't get the football out. Here's the hurry kick off the carpet. Try to get in there, Hargrave, can't get the footy. Now the kick out towards the wing position. And the ball is going over the boundary line and out of bounds, and we will call for a ball in. So Lewis versus Hargrave to do the rucking here. Ball went back in over their heads. Right hand pass away. I thought the umpire was going to say it was fair. He was just late on the whistle there. And now it's paid at the way of the Seattle Grizzlies. And from what I can see there, I think it's Stephanie Peterson with the football. Peterson on the right. Wants to try and come inside 50. Now running shot at goal. How does that look? It is away, away, away to the right. And I think the ball has gone out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. So about 4 or so minutes gone in this contest. No score either side here on Field 3 at the Score Complex in Racine, Wisconsin. Should mention we've got 5 fields set up today, one less than San Diego. But mind you, San Diego was a special tournament and a special climate. And I think a lot of people wanted to go holidaying there as well as having a little bit of footy. A bit cooler in Racine, but still an impressive number of sides that have come out for this tournament. Here's a hurried shot on goal to way to the right, and that will register as a minor score. So as you can see there, it is Seattle, one behind. New York yet to score here on Field 3. We've seen some low-scoring contests in the past. I think there was a 2-1 game at the Western Regionals, I think featuring Portland and Minnesota, if I'm correct, going back a couple of years in Salem, Oregon. So in some of these cooler conditions, you can expect a low-scoring contest as opposed to where you play like we had the last couple of years in San Diego and Sarasota, where you have a very flat track and in the warm conditions, some fast-flowing footy. So New York just struggling to come off their half-back line at the moment, allowing Seattle to bomb away. And the ball here will go over the boundary line and out of bounds. Just one notable absentee that I have on my list here. Kim Hemingway playing for New York. Had played for a number of years for them, typically seen up in the forward line. And had played an AFL women's exhibition game, actually, for the Sydney Swans against the GWS Giants back in 2016. And New York have actually been very fortunate this year to have a number of AFL women's players come by their ground and take part in some training sessions, including one, Jessica Wuchner, who spent 3 months out here in the US a couple of months ago with the Boston Lady Demons. She trained with them. I think I saw the likes of Darcy Vesio and I think Talia Radin, I think, if I'm correct, who was a Crow now going to Melbourne. So there's been a handful of players that have been on holidays throughout the New York area, and they've all stopped by to do some training with the Magpies, which has been fantastic. I think even Sarah Perkins and Valerie Moreau from Montreal were recently at one of their training sessions just before the Nationals. Here's the ball in the middle. The big scrap is on. Trying to get it out there, Holmes, and the umpire said it was all locked in, so they'll call for a ball up. Reset play. Under 13 minutes remaining. Seattle lead 1-0. Low-scoring contest early. We'll give that one to Hargrave. Trying to come through Koplo. Couldn't get it out. Umpire's blown the whistle here to a water free kick. And it's going the way of Grace Koplo. There's a little joke on social media that Grace Koplo is famous for a tackle that she made back at the Yonkers field a couple of years ago, where one Heather Serpico was running on by and Coppola got it from out of nowhere. It's kind of gone viral, that video, as it was a brilliant tackle. As the kick goes now long in towards the centre forward position. Now looking for Natalie Wolf, who got ripped off the footy. Valerie Barber-Extell tries to go in there. Gets it out to Wolf. Here's an opportunity. Trying to get a hurry little hand pass away. Have they gone backwards instead of trying to go forwards here? They may have cost themselves an opportunity. They look for the hurry kick out. Coppola was in there. Now the Grizzlies with a long kick in towards the middle of the ground. Trying to find clear possession. The Grizzlies in there got a hand pass out. In goes Wolf. Pardon me, this is Grace Coppola, rather, being tackled on that occasion by Marion Dickinson. And the umpire judged Coppola to be holding the ball, to have dragged it in. So Dickinson will take the resulting free kick here for Seattle. Try and work it further up the line. Karaman will also try and get his bearings. As going to ground there, the New York Magpies footballer, allowing Ryan Johnson to try and get a kick around the corner. Close towards the boundary line. Johnson wants to go again. And the umpire will call for a ball up. Got a 14 player I don't have here on my sheet, so apologies if I called the wrong name there. Tap by Samantha Wolf. Kick along the ground. Hand pass. They try to put it into the central corridor here. Valerie Barber-Extell was there. Coppola went charging through. And the umpire says you upended the player in Dickinson, so that will be a free kick going the way of the Seattle Grizzlies. As we said, in Division 1, Pool A, Seattle and New York battling this one out. The other team they have to contend with is the back-to-back champions, the San Francisco Iron Maidens. Seattle will have a date next with them. And then the final game of the day, we'll see San Francisco versus New York. Here's the kick in towards the middle of the ground. Barber-Extell did the shepherding work. Here's the kick away. It might be by Alcoso, who now goes long towards the half-forward flank position. Mark taken on the half-forward flank, backing back there. Katya Hewitt. Hewitt goes wide towards the pocket, bouncing football close to the boundary line. Seen over, and I think the ball is out, and we'll call for a throw-in. So, ball back in. Lewis charging through. Couldn't get her hands on it. Dribble along the ground, and it's away to the right-hand side, and the ball has gone over and out. And we'll call for a throw-in once more. Conditions here in Racine, Wisconsin have been rather cool. This Saturday, I think an expected top of about 7 degrees Celsius. So very, very cold. Therefore, that's why you see a lot of players in the long sleeves, or they've got like this, the full skins on with the jumper on over the top. Where normally, of course, they'd be expecting a sleeveless jumper in Aussie rules, but the conditions certainly wouldn't suggest that be wise. As trying to go through there is Johnson, lost control of the football. New York clear it out. Fighting in there, Wolf with Barber-Extell. Holmes jumps there as well. Then Kaylee Johnson for support. And the umpire is going to call for a ball up. We talk about the Johnson sisters having a bit of a rivalry here in this game. Kaylee Johnson for New York and Ryan Johnson for Seattle. Later on, there'll be another rivalry. Danielle Gallagher for New York will be up against her sister Elise Gallagher of San Francisco. It's good to see on both sides, all the families getting involved here in Aussie rules football. Going in there to pick it up now, Meg Ford. Lost control of the ball. Couple of don't argues here. Ball had to go backwards to go forwards for the Grizzlies. Still at the half-forward flank. Now the kick inside 50. And again, the New York defense so far holding up well. The hurry kick away while being harassed. Out towards the half-back flank. Was trying to find Meg Ford again. Emma Kading goes in to try and tackle. And the ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds. So the ball thrown back into play. As hurry kick away. Sees the ball on the ground. Now towards the half-back flank. Oh, that could be a throw there. I thought that was one-handed, and the umpire signaled that, and that will be a free kick to the New York Magpies. As we said, the Magpies, number of veterans, a number of rookies, high turnover of players. New York, of course, a bit like DC, being one of those transient cities where a lot of people are going through. So for New York, it all depends on, obviously, the people that are moving to the area and people moving out of the area. Hopefully they just get that good patch like they did a couple of years ago, where they get some stars in the coming years to help bolster the veterans and the rookies, that they can be able to take a shake at trying to win the Division 1 title, because at the moment it's been a bit of a, I could say, West Coast dominance. Last 2 years, San Francisco, and then getting a little further inland with Denver winning 6 national titles. As looks like we're calling for a free kick here. Cameron's just off view. And no, pardon me, it's a... Yep, it is a free kick. Going the way of New York. They'll stay wide. Just came off hands there. Crystal Dolan was going through the pack. Dominic Gordon there was under pressure, lost control of it, had a teammate there for support. Here's the hurry kick, only to be intercepted. Now here's a chance of the Magpies. Oh, Amelia Carr from out of nowhere. What can you say, but Ford got hit by the car. Amelia Carr mowed her down when it looked like Ford was going to kick into space and set up an opportunity for the New York Magpies. So Seattle's defense holds up well there. Should mention as well that Seattle have actually come into the tournament with just 17 players, New York 20. So 3 players less for Seattle. So that meaning less on the interchange will affect their rotations. So they'll be looking to try and get an early lead and then trying to sit onto that, because it's tougher when you've got tired legs against someone who's got 3 more fresh set of legs. And that'll be the case again against other sides that they play throughout the remainder of this tournament. Some hard work to do, some more ground to cover for the Grizzlies. Now going in there, Hargrave against Lewis. Did well. Casillas, the veteran, tries to work her way through. That's a good tackle, then goes to ground, tries to knock it back over her head. Couple try to feed it out. Ashlyn Gregg is nearby for support. Grizzlies holding it up though, and we'll call for a ball up. I think a few might have been asking for over the shoulder. At the half-forward flank here, under 5 minutes remaining in this first half. Seattle 1, New York no score. Here at the USAFL Nationals for 2018. Lewis flew through the air. Waiting back there, Jessica Taylor. Now here's the hurry kick around the corner. How does that look? And it might have gone out of bounds, so we'll call for a throw in. Just didn't quite see the clear signal there. As we wait for the ball to be thrown back into play. Seattle with an opportunity to score here deep in their forward line, but again the New York defense. Oh, I was going to say holds up well now. I thought that was across the shoulder. How will the umpire rule on this? At least from my angle. No, he's adjudicated that it was dropping the ball and it's going the way of Seattle. So a shot on goal is going to squeeze back in. And Seattle have their first major of the half. They jump ahead on the scorecard to 1-1-7. New York yet to score. Interesting call there. Again, only just looking for the first time through the vision that I've seen here. I thought that might have been across the shoulder of the player. The umpire adjudicated it. It was a lot closer than me to say it was dropping the ball. So therefore a free kick, and that shot on goal is true for Seattle. So with about 3 minutes remaining, they take a 7-point lead. You might hear a hooter. We've got some grounds close to us. Field 2 immediately behind us. To our right is the Cooper's Field, the main field here at the complex, and further right fields 4 and 5. As going in there is Lewis. She does well, tries to chase up her own football, tried to bump Musser out of the way on the way through. Going afterwards there is Coplow, chasing and dancing and waving the arms around to try and corral the player. Went backwards. putting on a burst of speed, demarcating, and as she had support, that's a good tackle. That's a very good tackle. And the umpire says, Natalie Wolf huffed and a puffed and a blew your house in. And a free kick going the way of the New York Magpies. Wolf, big kick, good kick. Towards centre half forward, puts it in a good dangerous position. Can the Magpies create something out of it? Amelia Carr going backwards. Her teammate in Holmes nearly took her out of play there. I think Kaylee Johnson got back there as well, and the umpire said it was all locked up and will call for a ball up. So about 2 minutes remaining in the half. An opportunity here for New York to try and get one back just before we hit the halftime break. Doing the ruck work, Skosniechny. Going in there, Kaylee Johnson. And the umpire will call for another ball up. Good game of footy, played predominantly in the Seattle forward half. So New York trying to make the most of a rare opportunity forward here. Oh, picked off. And here we go. The Grizzlies now with a chance to go towards the wing position. Trying to get in there, Ashlyn Grigg to make a contest of it. Coming through, Olivia Lewis as well. Ball on the ground, and the umpire comes in and says, I'll ask for the footy back, please. On the bottom of the deck there was Amanda Bowe. Lewis wins the contest. Lewis goes in, gets her own footy. Hand pass to a running player. Oh, crunch from behind. Hitting the deck hard was Peterson. And a free kick going the way of the New York Magpies. I think she might have left a dent in the ground after that tackle. Good hit. So we wait for the footy to be kicked up the line. Holmes almost threw it out of that contest, I felt. Through the legs here. Soccer skills close towards the boundary line. Will it go out? And that one is in the back. That's a free kick going the way of Grace Koplow. Chance for her to kick along the line, but time running out before the halftime hoot up. And a good juggling mark there. Lewis taking it for the Seattle Grizzlies. On centre wing. Kicks it wide and out of bounds on the full. 7-0. Seattle with the lead here. And that is halftime.
My first game, I stood there and I was just like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm just gonna run. I just kept going and I kept going to practice. I kept going to the games. And eventually it just clicked. And I was just like, oh, I get it now. Like, this is fun.
Aussie rules, is also known as footy, is the equivalent of like the NFL here. And so in Australia they call it AFL.
So in Australia it's a huge sport, especially for the women. It's getting even bigger.
It's empowering for women, young women.
It's really great to just be able to run around and just have so much fun with a bunch of people that love the same sport that you do.
It just gives me this energy that I just can't describe, and it just brings me like so much joy.
It's a great physical outlet, but also the people that we play with are just so amazing.
These are the girls that if you want to dress up and go out, they'll be there for you. If you want to be in your sweatpants all day and eat chocolate and watch Netflix, they're also there for you.
I think that this sport has something for everyone.
I just feel like anyone and everyone should try it, give it a go, and just see if they like it.
If you're watching this video, it's not by accident. This is for you.
And welcome back here to Racine, Wisconsin. We're about to begin the second half of the USAFL Nationals Women's Division I contest between Seattle and New York. At the moment, it is a lead to the Seattle Grizzlies by 7 points. We are underway to begin this second half, and it's Lewis again winning the contest for the Seattle Grizzlies. Hurry kick out of the pack. I think it was Kosniewski who tried to get the football moving forward. Going to your right of screen now towards the eastern end or Lake Michigan end, the New York Magpies. Towards the left-hand side, the western end will be the Seattle Grizzlies. Grace Koplow held things up then, tried to get a hand pass going forward, but picked up by Valerie Barber-Axthelm. Her kick is wide, close towards the boundary line. And the ball does go over and out now, and we'll call for a ball up. Again, we're playing straight 20-minute halves with no time on. A normal game of Aussie rules football would be 4 20-minute quarters with time on for stoppages in play, such as when the umpire asks for, I guess you'd call a jump ball back, when the ball goes out of bounds, and when the ball goes through for a score, and injuries, of course. Here in the USAFL, the clock keeps ticking unless there is a major injury in which the umpire will indicate to the timekeepers to hold the play. As the ball goes wide, Seattle try and push forward again. When you see it over the boundary line, Emma Kading, close to it, support by Ashlyn Grigg. And the ball go over and out just near the cornfield. Talk about a picturesque scene in the background. A lovely community, Racine, Wisconsin. We're in the Franksville area of Racine, and may I say the people of Real Racine, the tourist board here, have been absolutely marvellous hosts. A1. And talking about absolutely marvellous, this shot on goal is just touched. And we'll go through for just a minor score. And that will see things tick along here to Seattle 1-8, leading New York no score. The New York to win this game, 2 straight kicks will do the job. So, under 18 minutes remaining. The kick back into play. Oh, it's going to be intercepted here. No drop. Pressure being created. Casillas came running in there. Koplo as well. Koplo tried to feed the hand pass out. You can see Jessica Taylor waiting for the ball to pop out to Hurt, centre half back. Got bumped off of it, but managed to knock it to advantage. Didn't go too far, though. Chance for the Grizzlies. Barbara Axtham, hurry kick around the corner. Going to be held up here. Koplo, umpire's blown the whistle. Which way is he adjudicating this? Free kick to the New York Magpies. Talking about scenery and a picturesque view. I think it's Brooklyn Bridge Park that the New York Magpies have been training at this year. And if you've seen the photos of there, not only with the AFL women's players that have come down to train with them, but the background of New York City, Manhattan Island in the background is postcard-esque. It is absolutely stunning. What a great venue to train, and hopefully that kind of imagery does attract more players to their club. Because that's what all the USAFL is about, growth, getting more people to play this fantastic game of Aussie rules football, both men and women. Ball out of bounds here, and the umpires pulled out a free kick for New York at their half-forward flank. So an opportunity here. Can they hit someone on a lead? Let's have a look. No lead as yet, as the ball gets smacked over the boundary line and out of bounds. That might be something for the coaches to review there for New York. You see a few players running in to help on the forward line, but their forwards were stationary when that kick was coming inside 50, and really they desperately need that a true forward to be somewhere deep forward pocket, goal square, making a lead into space in a direction of heading towards the kicker, so therefore they're able to take a mark. Because the problem is, obviously, when you're stationary, you've got an opponent right next to you who can spoil the ball away from you. So that's probably something that they'll take and look at and want to work on for the 2019 season. Here's the kick. Deep inside 50 now. And Ajosa is there. Again, Seattle with their defense. Clear it. Mark taken, and by the sounds of the claps, it's a New York intercept. And they've got the footy at the half-forward flank. I think that Skoplo again is unwinded, a bomb. Love that kick. Goes towards the hot spot, 30 metres out. Knocked away. Meg Ford chasing after it. And trying to get in there and take a mark. Lockett. Now the hurry kick by Lockett inside 50. Bump late on there, courtesy of Barbara Axtham. And the umpire will call for a ball up. Mind you, like saying earlier about needing a forward to lead into space, as I guess a minor criticism, it is very hard for the women of the USAFL to actually find grounds large as this to play on. Many of them play on what you call soccer or gridiron type fields. And because they're so small, they have to play 9-a-side, and there's little space, so they don't, I guess they don't have the opportunity to play or train regularly in a broad area where they can learn how to use and master that space. So it's almost a bit of a novelty, like for New York, but for all the sides to be playing on fields such as we do have here at Racine, Wisconsin, at the Score Complex. Here's the kick towards the forward pocket. The ball go over the boundary line and out of bounds. I think it might be Lisa McHugh that's seen that over. And we'll call for a throw-in. Deep inside the New York forward 50. Looking for a goal. Can they get one to get some momentum going their way? Defensive hand pass by the Grizzlies. Sees them dance around. Oh, the ball was already over the boundary line and out of bounds. A little hard to read some of the numbers there. We can see one close, number 4, Tegan Hamilton there for Seattle. Just that lighter green on white. They're wearing a special jumper today, the Grizzlies, to celebrate 20 years as a club. You can see just on the back of Tegan Hamilton's jumper very close to us, 2-0 written in small numbers at the back. Congratulations to 20 years of the Seattle Grizzlies. Fantastic. Free kick's been given here, and Natalie Wolf has it for the New York Magpies. So here's an opportunity. We know she's a big kick. If she can be an accurate kick, we got a ball game here. Natalie Wolf, 13 and a half minutes remaining. Can she get it for the New York Magpies? Oh, fair hook on the kick. And a mark and a chance for Seattle to come out of defense. Opportunity gone there. So here's the clearing kick and a mark taken by the Grizzlies at the halfback flank in front of their scoreboard. Long and high up the line. Connection of marks, liking this flow of play at the moment. They're holding the ball really well, the Grizzlies, and they're working the space nicely. A number of their players also play Gaelic football as well, so that does help. Very similar skills and positioning work between Gaelic football and Australian football. Lewis goes in there again. Harash knocked off the ball. Got blow kick around the corner. Going towards the half-forward flank. Foot race on here. Barbara Axthelm kicks it off the ground. Goes in, shoves a player out of the way. Says, I want the footy. Lockett's watching on here. Taken away, though, by the New York Magpies. That hurry kick is going to be all locked up. Trying to jump in there, I think it was Davidson. Lockett. Barbara Axthelm caught. And the umpire asks for the footy back. We'll call for a ball up. We'll go again. Looks like Meg Ford might be doing the right. No, she's just doing the roving work, getting very close to the contest. Hargrave does. Backhander. Casillas puts it on the right. Goes up the line. And Barbara Axthelm now looking in the Lewis direction. Taken away there and kicked long up the line. Inside 50. Is this an opportunity now for the New York Magpies? We're about 40 metres out from goal. And the umpire's going to come in and call for a ball up. Our vision back a bit from the action. Our apologies for that. We've just got a bunch of volunteers helping us out, including yours truly that's been on the camera for a couple of games. So our apologies if it's not quite the 100% professional vision of some of the others that you might see here on the USAFL YouTube page. But we do whatever we can to try and bring you as much football action as we can in the United States. And anyone that wants to volunteer and help out, particularly when it comes to commentary or vision, we'd certainly love to hear from you. Just go to usafl.com and contact Brian Barish, the media manager. Here's the kick. Only as far as looks like Casillas waiting back there. And the umpire's pulled out a free kick. And which way is this one going? It looks like it's going the way of the New York Magpies. Is that Kaylee Johnson from a distance? The vision's just a fair back a bit. In fact, it looks like it might be... Is it Davidson? Oh, now it's zoomed in. Thank you. Now it's Jenny Bowl. Thank you. Jenny Bowl has a shot at goal to good distance. Car from behind with a spoil at the crucial moment. And they'll clear that off the last line of defence. I don't know how Seattle got out of jail on that one. I thought for certain it looked like if it wasn't going to be a New York mark, it was going to be a New York goal. It was going to be a big New York mark there, and then a shot on goal. But somehow, Carr spoil and the teamwork there gets them out of jail. Here's an opportunity again for the Magpies. High kick. Meg Ford takes the mark. Now she played on, according to the umpire. So she had to go back. Goes to the player at the top of the goal square. Taken away. Carr last line of defence. Does well. Relieves the pressure. Although momentarily, slipping by Taylor. Couldn't hang on the footy. And again, the Grizzlies will come out of defence. Trying to get in there. Emma Kading fighting for it. Meg Ford. over the ball, and the umpire will blow for the whistle. Yeah, we've seen that they're almost playing a zone here in New York, when we saw just earlier with Drake Casillas pushing up to the wing, where Casillas will be further back in defence. You can see by that and by the likes of Grace Coppola as well, that whole New York defence is really starting to crowd around that centre wing position, knowing that they need a score to get themselves in the game. So they're not counting on Seattle getting it out the back. They're trying to push up and lock the ball in and create that pressure and hope that Seattle crack. As we speak at this moment, Kepron was the one who tried to go for a grubber forward. Big tackle laid on there, and that is Drake Casillas, who says, "You shall not pass." And Drake Casillas will get the footy. Drake Casillas, originally out of Arizona, finds herself in New York City, helping start the New York Magpies women's team, and possibly one of the most famous women's team in the competition, out of the Big Apple. Here's the kick close to the boundary line, and Bo takes it in front of Casillas. Should ask her about why she's wearing the Saints socks, though, when they're the Magpies. Maybe they're lucky socks. Bo kicks it towards centre half forward. Trying to get in there was Dolan, knocked away from her. Hargrave was watching on. Umpires pulled out a free kick. And let's see which way he's pointing here. He's pointing the way of the Seattle Grizzlies. April Lewis did a trial day with the Brisbane Lions before heading down to Melbourne for the Crosscoders camp. So we wish her all the best of luck. If she doesn't get picked up in the AFLW draft, who knows? Maybe she might move to Australia for some State League football. That, or she may spend, of course, more time in Seattle. Either way, let's hope that we get to see even more and better footy out of April Lewis, an exciting talent. Talking about exciting talents, there's one right there for New York who's delivered long and put Carr under pressure, who had to try and duck and weave and had a jumper held but got the kick away. Only as far as Nat Wolf, who came through, tried to lay on the pressure, but Seattle somehow work it out towards the wing on the far side of the ground. Now an opportunity for them if they can try and break open the play, because they've been caught in some congestion courtesy of the New York defence, as the ball is being bobbled around. Coplow tried to get in there, and the umpires pulled out a free kick and gone the way of the Seattle Grizzlies. 7 minutes remaining in the contest. The Grizzlies lead by 8 points. Last year at the USAFL Nationals, they had the one victory. They were thumped by San Francisco in their first game. They lost in a close one against Minnesota, but in their second game, they caused what many thought was a ball over when they knocked off the Montreal Angels for their first ever win in Division 1. Are they looking at their second ever win? Because at the moment they hold this advantage with under 7 minutes remaining. Bounce off Jess. Now here's the kick towards the top of the goal square. They found a mark directly in front, 15 metres out. And I think from a distance, is that Bo or Leonard with a footy? She set the kick on the way. The goal umpire's done a bit of work, come back and set it to goal. That could be the ball game. Seattle, 2-2-14. New York, no score. Here in Racine, Wisconsin at the Score Complex at the 2018 United States Australian Football League National Championships. Wow. Just wow. Peter Holden with you on commentary. I'm stunned because most of the play had been in the New York forward half. They've been pressing and pressing and pressing. Seattle have been struggling to find a way to work it up the wing. And here they managed to, despite only having the 17 players, find a player spare at the top of their goal square for that shot in front. Something that New York had a couple of chances with, but were just unlucky and able to find their way through the big sticks. Now, could they really nail home the advantage here? I think it's Corey Hu on the outside, who now goes up the line. Juggling attempt by the Magpies. Dropped. Trying to get through. I think Samantha Wolf there, and the umpire blows the whistle. And calls for a ball up or a free kick there. He's just walking away. No, he's giving a free kick away to Seattle. The wind-up kick. Bit shortish for my liking, and McCading might get on the end of this. Nope, ball has gone over the boundary line and out of bounds, so we'll call for a throw-in. A good bump. Lewis through heavy traffic. flying shot at goal. It's just been kept out, I think, on the last line of defence. Will they concede a point? No, they elect to try and keep it in play and go for a hurried kick. Now, normally in professional footy back home in Australia, in the Australian Football League, if you're not under pressure and you run the ball through the post, it won't count as a rush point. In fact, it's called as deliberate, and the opposition get a free kick at goal. So you're encouraged to try and keep the ball in play. That's generally not the case in semi-professional or amateur leagues, where, and particularly when you're under pressure, you're okay to run the ball through without conceding a free kick, but you will, of course, concede 1 point to the opposition. But New York on that occasion allowing to keep it in. They've worked it as far as their half-back line, but now they'll send it back, the Grizzlies. The long kick, 1-2 by the Cherries, that a mark bait, it is! Directly in front, strong grab, had to juggle, was trying to catch it on the way down, and another shot on goal. It looks like it could be Bo. Those lighter numbers very hard to see on the white. Her shot, and I think that's another. Well, that is really the nail in the coffin. And the Seattle Grizzlies move to 3-2-20. New York, no score. You're at the Score Complex in Racine, Wisconsin. Wow. The first encounter between these two sides, it looks like Seattle's going to come away with a comfortable win. Women's footy's been doing particularly well in the Pacific Northwest. We said the second year of Seattle in Division 1. The last 3 years, Portland have been involved in combinations that have won the Division 2 title. And this year, in fact, the Portland Sockeyes have made their Division 1 debut. They're in the opposite pool with Denver Bulldogs and Minnesota Freeze. As the ball is thrown in the air again. Hargrave versus Lewis. Lewis won it, but the ball went straight to the deck. Now Koplo does the shepherding work. Allows their teammate in Kading to try and pump it towards the centre-half forward position. Holmes committed early in that contest. Then Claro goes and went hard and through the pack. Couldn't come out with it. Gordon is watching off there for Seattle. And the umpire comes in to blow the whistle and will call for a ball up. 2 minutes remaining, if that. We'll have Seattle crowned as winners. An important win for them because out of the two pools, the top two of the three teams go through to meet in the semi-finals, while the bottom team in each of the two groups will meet in a consolation match midday on Sunday. Play just getting up in a bit worse for wear. The runners just checking, and the trainers checking everything's okay. Umpire says we're good and gives a free kick to New York. It's an opportunity here for the New York Magpies to drive forward. They were trying to find Meg Ford. Kicked away from her. It's good marking on display, by the way, from Seattle. That's really been something that's been a trait for them, being able to link up and find marks, control the ball, which is going to be required if they ever come up against the likes of Minnesota, who like to go down the central corridor, whether it be the Denver Bulldogs, who've got some great height and talent in the Castanacs, and then, of course, against a dominant midfield such as San Francisco. You've got to find a way to control the ball and keep it away from your opposition. Counting down the last minute here. New York trying to see if they can get a score to save a bit of face and help out their percentage as well, because they will need to beat San Francisco in the next match if they're any chance of progressing to the semi-final stage. Here's the ball. Inside 50. Barbara Axthelm goes chasing after it, meeting her, Algozen. They'll fight hard for the ball. Carr wants to jump in as well. Umpire crosses himself and says ball up. Just about out of time here. The score, Seattle 3-2, leading New York no score, and that's full time.